Okay. Reconnection successful. Right.
Yay!
We should be back. We should still be here. Just give it a second.
Oh, this is where it'll have been really annoying, and it's been off long enough for it to start a whole new one.
Yeah,
There we go.
I think it has. Has it? No, maybe.
We're back.
We're back, okay.
It says back, just not on my screen, but fine, we'll go with it.
Hello, I'm here again. It's me, your boy. So yeah, it was the Wolfsburg Grizzlies, the ones that did the thing. So that's good. Yeah, okay, we're back. Wonderful. Thank goodness for that.
Not on my screen when Otic finished it on mine.
Yeah, I had to refresh it a couple of times on YouTube, and it should be back.
Okay. Right.
Hopefully
yes, it's a new one.
Combined
It's a new
into
one.
one. If it hasn't, that's really irritating.
No, it's on a new one for mine, but
yeah, I'll check the stats later. I'll check the video manager.
Okay, so we were talking about the Wild Wings, who have lost both their opening games. They lost to Ingolstadt 10-4 on opening night, and then lost to Wolfsburg last night.
Yep.
Right, so then we move on to everybody in one, which is just how it happens to have been, because we've got Corey Nielsen's Lausitzer Fuchs of the DEL2, and they were taking on Pete Russell's side. Now, Pete Russell, he went 5-2 in pre-season friendlies. He's now 1-1 in the DEL.
That's not too bad.
DEL2. Losing a 7-3 thriller to Corey Nielsen's side. That's the only game that Corey Nielsen's side have played. They went 3-3 in pre-season, so they went 500. In that game was Robert Farmer, who had an assist, and Mike Hammond, who had 3 assists.
Didn't Farmer have 2 assists? I thought he assisted on 2 power play goals with Hammond as well.
According to Flash Scores, it's 1.
Okay. I mean, I was watching the Flash Score updates as they were going on, so they might have changed the box score since then. So yeah, okay. I mean, both of them got points in their first DL2 games, so that's good. Why not? That's great. Yeah, and then you've mentioned Pete Russell, so that's good because I didn't want to forget him this week. So that's very helpful that we.
Well, it happened because they all, they all did the same. They played each other, so. Farmer only got the 1 assist according to Flash Scores on the 5th goal.
That's still a point in his debut in the DL2, so fair play to him.
It is. Of course, Luke Piver as well, who was with the Panthers. He got 2 assists on the Freiburg side. So
he did, yeah. No, Pither did very well in that game. So a lot of familiar faces taking to the ice in that game. Interestingly, a German league game, lots of English faces, which is interesting. Why not? Like, cool. Like
come Brexit.
Good point.
He'll be back for Halloween, boys and girls.
Okay, so we've now reached the end of the podcast, essentially, which, I mean, we've made pretty decent time. We've had a few little hiccups, which is wonderful. But yeah, we've made it pretty much to the end. We're going to go into audience questions now. I will talk about Leeds in a second, but we're on the last call, so audience questions. If you guys have anything you want to stick in the chat, the live chat on YouTube at the moment.
You had one to you, Max, didn't you, about the
had one
Steve Lee?
Had one to me about Steve Lee testimony. Before that, I want to get into someone messaged saying, why isn't Brett Pelini's brother playing GB? My quick answer would be he probably doesn't really want to.
Yep.
I don't think he trained in the UK, which means that he's not eligible to play. And thirdly, he's playing in the NHL, and the schedules might not match up well enough for them to come over and play during.
I think I would imagine it's a case of because he's lived in Canada. I think he was born in Guildford. So he's technically like a GB citizen, but he might not be eligible to suit up for the national team.
He does have dual nationality.
Yeah. So I think the reason why Brett Pelini could is because he has dual nationality and he trained for some time as a junior in the UK.
Yeah.
I don't think his brother did.
He played under 11s.
I don't think that's long enough.
No, I'm not suggesting it necessarily is, but he played under 11s.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I think so for the guy who asked, I think it might be Sparky. I can't remember. He's been very active in the chat, but it was in the old one. I was going to go back and find out. But for the person who asked the question, if you're still here, the reason being is he might not have trained long enough in the UK,
or he just doesn't want to,
or he just doesn't want to, or the schedules don't match up. I mean, he is playing for Chicago now.
Yeah, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah,
he just got a contract extension.
Used to be Arizona. Yeah, used to play for the Arizona Coyotes. So now he's playing for the Chicago Blackhawks.
He came over in the Strome trade.
Yeah.
And he started off all right, and then Pelini kind of disappeared. So let's hope he bounces back this year.
Yeah, it'd be nice to hear the name.
So Leeds. I saw an interesting article like a week ago. I just thought I'd mention it because somebody mentioned Leeds in the chat. Leeds have played their first NIHL game. They played it yesterday. Fun fact, their home rink has been delayed opening until October. So they're now having to play all of their games away until October. It's a fun fact. I saw.
Bit like the Panthers because Marvel are taking over the arena.
Pretty much. There you go. So
Spider-Man wants to swing around.
Yep, there you go. So there you go. Leeds has a hockey team now, the Leeds Chiefs, I believe they're called. And
which interestingly didn't win the fan poll.
What won the fan poll?
Lions. I'd
Really?
have gone with Leeds Lions.
Was it Lions?
And they decided to go with the Chiefs as well, which I think came second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least it didn't come like fifth. They were like, let's use that one.
No, I think there were only 3 options.
Oh, okay.
If they don't do a heritage or throw out jersey to the Slapshot Chiefs jerseys, they are missing a serious problem.
That's very good.
A serious trick there.
When I was in Canada, I went to the store Lids. Shout out to Lids, it's great. They had like the first Mighty Ducks movie jerseys, and the Charlestown Chief jerseys, and they didn't have one in my size, which really annoyed me because I really wanted one so bad. I was there like, I just want to take this.
Lids is like an undercover place to go and pick up jerseys. They have some pretty cool deals on and stuff. Hopefully they're making a video on where to buy jerseys from, so if people are interested.
Lids is good. Lids is a very good place to buy jerseys.
Lids is very good. Even just for like their actual normal stuff, hats is pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, I got my Nordiques hat, $12.
Yep. Perfect.
Like legit, vintage hockey, Quebec Nordiques, official NHL hat, $12.
Yeah.
Love it. It's a lovely hat.
Wicked stores. Just quickly.
So Max, your thing about Steve Lee.
Yeah. So for Brian Griffin, I was part of the testimonial game.
You were.
Yeah, I was. I was the head coach of the team. We ended up calling it the Danglers. Make up your own joke and so where you feel appropriate. And between me and a guy who won a raffle to be the GM of the team, we were put together and we drafted a team of the All-Stars and current team. And, got to go to the draft night and did that, and then was in the locker room, gave some inspiring talks to players that are.
What did you say to the players? I want to hear your team talk.
Yeah.
My team. So first off, I'll tell you who was in my team. And, And this is who I've talking to. Okay, so this was last season. So you had Mark Hurtubise,
okay,
Rob Lakovich, Sam Oakford, James Neal, Tom Norton. Then you start getting into some big names. There's like Matt Francis was on our team. Craig Kowalski was on our team.
Okay.
Jordan Fox was on our team. Ollie Betheridge is on our team.
Lions.
I think that was everyone.
You're there going, don't fangirl, don't fangirl, don't.
I fangirled hard. I fangirled so hard. Levine is an absolute. Well, I adored him before this season, and he was wicked. Foxy is an absolute legend. K-Wall is the funniest guy, even though around his friends, around people that he knows, he is hilarious. Outside of that, he's a bit shy and nervous, which you can understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the best thing. My team talks were, okay, boys, don't fuck up. I hope you're not too drunk. And I want to see nothing but backhand sauce. Which, if you don't know that terminology, it's a backhand pass off the ice. So yeah, it was a wicked opportunity to come into, and like I wish this year that I could do it for Lacko's one. I'm trying to figure it out financially if I can actually do it, because there's not only for what I paid last season to be in the testimonial and be a coach, I could pay the same again this year for Lacko's, and I could be on the ice and play.
That'd be pretty cool.
Because they've opened up a certain amount of slots. I think it's like 2 slots per team to the paying public to be on the team. And it was one thing to coach the guys and say, right, okay, I want these 3 guys to go out, and I want then these 3 guys to go out. And then after the second game, I went, you do what the fuck you want. Because they were anyway.
To be fair, there's a lot of coaches out there that probably do the same.
Yeah. I think one of them used to coach the Panthers and then only lasted half a season.
There you go.
So yeah, it was great, and that's why it was absolutely awesome. I'll say if anybody can get involved with a testimonial, whether it's with the Nottingham or Nottingham Panthers, or there's the Mike, there's like 4 happening in this league this year. I'm pretty sure Matt Myers has got one in Cardiff. There's one in Manchester, or there's one in Glasgow. There's a few happening around the league.
Okay.
If you can get involved with them, get involved. They are a great laugh. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So I didn't go to Steve Lee's. I don't know if we're covering anything on Lacko's this year.
Oh, it'd be great to have you commentate my name. Oh, that would be.
I don't know if we're covering anything or not. I've got to have a word with everybody else. But yeah. Other question is so Oddman.
Wait! Before you do, Chris, you're in Max's position, in the locker room. What's your team talk?
Oh right, okay. Well, is this like pre-game and a testimonial? We're not like down 2 in the final period or anything.
Play better.
So what it was
you're embarrassing me.
I think we had 4 teams.
Yeah.
We had 4 teams. We went out and played I think it was like a 15 to 20 minute period, rolling clock. And then obviously you sat for X amount. I think we sat for like, we played every other game, obviously.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I don't think we ever had a back-to-back, which is pretty cool. So we always had time to go back in the change room, chat to the guys and whatever. So yeah, you're not kind of like, oh yeah, okay, 3rd period, boys, let's go out and finish hard. It was like, okay, next game, move on, blah, 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 blah.
So the problem is that I think I'd just try and take it too seriously. Right, I want wide wings. I want this 3rd forward dropping back. I want a good hard back check. I want you to not let him into your zone. I want you to stand tall on the blue line.
Because it might be the only time you ever get to coach people like this. So take it seriously. Why not? Do it.
I'll tell you now. I was stood in the room, awestruck by pretty much everyone in the room.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Apart from about 2 or 3, because I played alongside Lacko for when I played roller hockey. Played alongside James Neal. I've hung out with Tom Norton more times than I'd care to venture, and Sam Oakford for that point, both are absolute beauts. And I had a case of beer, about 2 to 4 cases of beer at my feet with an ice bucket.
I thought you were going to say just to yourself then.
It could have been, but I was like, okay, boys, I'll share. And I was like, my team talk was kind of like, okay, do you want to, have a beer? Do you want to have a beer?
Yeah, let's have a beer.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
My team talk.
Go on.
Go on.
As long as you play better than I would play, we'll have some fun.
Oh, well, that's not hard, is it?
Exactly.
No blades.
Low expectations, because if your expectations are low, you can't be disappointed with the results.
It's true. Well, yeah.
Because then, if anything good happens, you've already exceeded expectations. So as long as they play better than me, and context, I can't skate for shit. Like, if they play better than I would have played, we'll have some fun.
Right. 2 quick questions to you guys just to finish off then.
Go for
Go on
it.
then.
Firstly, it's simple. Now that the ticket prices have come out, are we all going to the GB qualifiers?
Well, I don't
When
know.
are
'Cause
they?
I'm going to.
February.
Uh, I mean, in theory, yeah. I mean, why not?
Could we do a Icing on the Skate podcast live reaction to a GB game if we all go to the same one?
Oh, the Wi-Fi would be awful.
The Wi-Fi would be awful, but I might see if I can get like a.
Just do like the cat's whiskers and go to like Bunkers Hill or something afterwards.
Yeah, we'll find a place to post up, and I'll.
We
see
could
if
do a
see if
live
we can
Icing on the Skate podcast, like live in person. I just doubt anyone would actually want to come and bloody watch it.
I don't yet know what the plan is with regards to BBC coverage on it, but up for it.
Sure, why not?
And secondly, which is a bit more of a bit of a discussion, is while it's a question that I asked Chris Ellis actually the other day, is which Elite League team do you think has the strongest Brit quotient?
Brit quota.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be honest. I only know the Brits are the Panthers. I always kind of consider, apart from Matt Myers and the Devils.
Okay, if you go,
maybe a few names. I know
if you go on that document, Max, all the Brits are highlighted green.
I am a big fan of the Steelers Brit group.
That's very true.
They have some good
O'Connor, Dowd, all the rest of it.
Phillips, like they've got some good Brits on that.
I think because of how long they've been there and how good they've been. You can't really overlook the Steelers. Not that I don't want to go on this document and find them, but I find that the standout star Brit players, especially the ones that you saw over the summer, do well. They've kind of spread themselves out around the league very well. Like teams have done well holding on to them guys, and not somewhat like. 'Cause if I was a GM or a coach, I'd be like, right, as good as imports as we can get, if we can nail down a larger number of Brits than other teams and hold them down for, let's say, 6 years, you're going to have success like you do have the Devils and
absolutely
Steelers have passed, and Coventry have passed, and Belfast have passed, especially in the league. Because
you've got to think of it this way: like, you have all of your Brit players. You want to build the foundation of your roster around British players, and then the imports are there to kind of plug the holes you have left. Like, the one thing I do like about the Steelers group, more so than any others, is they have players for every different role. Like, not just a sense like, oh, they have a forward, a defenseman, and like, but it's more like they have a goal scorer in Robert Dowd. He's known for scoring clutch goals. They have a solid offensive defenseman in Ben O'Connor. Yeah, his work in his own zone has been a little bit suspect, especially over the last season or so. But as an offensive defenseman, he is as good as they come in the league. Like, and they've got their captain in Jonathan Phillips, who I mean is a role player in every sense of the word and plays his role quite nicely and is known to score a goal when it matters most. So, and that's not including the rest of them.
I think if you're going to look at stark contrasts like Sheffield and Belfast and Cardiff have all done well holding on to them Brits, building around them, whereas the opposite of that is what I would think is the Panthers, whereas they're quite happy to stick with the Brits that they've got, not really improve them. I'm not really taking a dig at any of them. Obviously, Ollie Betteridge is getting better, Tetlow is getting better, but you wouldn't say that there were standout stars in, if you're going to put them up against names of like Shields and O'Connors and Ben Lakes and people like that. So and I think that Panthers are amongst the group that kind of rely more on their imports and spending the money to try and get good imports, whereas Sheffield, not so much Cardiff, but other teams are quite easy to chop, like quite quick to chop and change their imports if they feel that they need to.
And also, another point I'd like to add with the Sheffield system, Kieran Brown, Liam Kirk. Like,
Yeah.
They're good at developing young players as well, just as good as they are at keeping the ones that have been around a while on their team.
Yeah.
You know, so
And I think the problem, like, I'm pretty sure Sheffield came out earlier this off season, or late in the off season, but earlier this year, and said that they're having a bit more of a connection and more of a ladder system now with their
with the Steel Dogs,
yeah, which is great.
That is more than commendable. Like, if Panthers,
it's exactly what British hockey needs.
Yeah, exactly. It should be. I've said this before on old podcasts. The whole system needs to be torn down, reset, and go again. But unfortunately, it will never happen. It's a whole topic for a different day. But if that ladder system had been in place whilst Corey Nielsen was running the Panthers for as long as he was, I think you would have seen Nottingham have a much stronger brick core than what we have now. I think you would have seen a lot more players come through. I think you would have probably seen a lot more Brits go abroad, like Farmer has.
Brits abroad.
Yeah, linking back to earlier in the podcast. I think you would have seen a lot more of that happening earlier than 2019, 2020.
I think that's a good place to finish up. That was quite a nice little ending speech there from you, Max. So, another thing, somebody mentioned NHL 20. I'm not doing videos in NHL 20. The reason I say this, I've been playing the 10-hour trial on EA Access. I know the game's officially out now. And like the first 2 hours, I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting back into this. Oh, should I buy it? Should I buy it? And then I played some Hut, and yeah, I don't want it. So I've only got like 3 hours left of the trial. I'm probably going to play the rest of the trial, have fun with it as much as I can, then call that a day. I've got plenty of other videos that I've got in the works, or that I've got planned to do over the next few weeks or so. So NHL 20 content, not for me. There's plenty of fantastic NHL 20 YouTubers on the platform. Go and check them out. They'd do it a lot better than I would anyway. So go and take a look at them. They're solid.
Yeah. If I ever figure out how to do it, I might jump on and do it. The problem I find with NHL 20 at the moment, there is a lot in the game that doesn't really do a lot. Like there's Hut, there's franchise mode, there's all the EASHL stuff that you can do, drop-ins, threes, eliminator, club eliminator. There seems to be a lot trying to pull focus, and it's I find it I'm finding it a hard game to keep focused on. So I'm like, I'm not doing too well in that. I'll go and play ones, or I'm not doing too well in ones. I'll go and play threes, or I'll go and I spend more time flicking around menus, deciding on what I want to actually play, than actually playing hockey on the game.
And last point, Ben, fantasy hockey. We are doing another fantasy hockey this year. We're going to get it done before the NHL season starts. It'll probably be next weekend at some point, maybe next Saturday, next Sunday. That's when I'm planning to do it. I'll give you guys ample notice. I'll probably put up stuff on Twitter and the channel about Wednesday, Thursday, just to let you guys know exactly what time it's taking place, where you need to be. So, yeah, there you go. Okay, so we've talked about plenty of stuff. It's been great to have you back again, Max. Thanks for coming. Chris, thanks for existing once again.
No worries.
Thanks for bringing your webcam back when it was facing the jaws of defeat.
My jaws were in your camera.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this second episode of Season 2 of the Icing on the Skate podcast. We'll be back at 7 p.m. British time, so 2 p.m. Eastern time and 11 a.m. Pacific time, for those of you who want to watch it live. If you don't, it will be on the channel so you can watch it back. Bits that you missed, want to tell us how awful the technology we use is, that's fine too. I've got my plan for the next video going up. It's going to be more of my reaction-y, vloggy style ones, a little bit more funny. It's going to be an interesting one. It's about
here we
Russia.
Go.
That's all you need to know. You know exactly what it is.
I know
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So, because I've seen that floating around a lot. I saw it about 5 or 6 times before you even sent it to me, Chris. I was like, yeah, this is something that I need to talk about. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, do all of that stuff. Helps me out a lot. Thanks for helping me hit 13.5k subs, by the way. That was pretty awesome. I didn't hit that before I left, as I was out in Canada. Lost a few subs because I wasn't uploading as much. And now, first 2 videos back, boom, we're hitting new milestones. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. We'll see you again next week. Bye for now.